everybody. Dan Illman here with the DRF race of the day for Wednesday, December the 21st, race number 7 at Gulfstream Park. We're going 5/8 of a mile on the Tapeta surface, $35,000 now winners of 2 Life. This race for 3-year-olds and up. Let's take a peek at this field. Please scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile devices. This race not only on the Tapeta, there are some questions about surface for some of these horses, but also a little bit of a class drop into the non-winners at 2 Life. Several of these horses have been running an allowance or starter optional against multiple race winners, so they're getting a little bit of class relief as well. We are going to throw up the Timeform US pace projector for a 5/8 of a mile race. Timeform US believes that this race will favor horses on or near the early lead. You see the blue bar, and a horse that's very quick is the number 8, Inevitable Connection, a horse that will be trying synthetic for the first time after making his first 6 starts on dirt. This horse is quick, and as we'll talk about a little bit later, he's getting a little bit of class relief, and horses dropping in class with early speed, that's often a very potent angle at these lower level claiming events. But let's start things off in post position order with the number 1, Neophyte, who's coming out of a solid race going 5.5 furlongs. It was a Florida bred non-winners of 1 other than race, and the runner-up in that field is a 5-time winner. So Neophyte is now dropping into a strict non-winners of 2 Life, and he might have simply been just in too tough in that most recent race. The 5th place finisher coming back to run second in a state-bred non-winners of 1 other than on dirt with an 81 Beyer speed figure. Neophyte has tactical speed, has the inside post, just didn't show that speed last time out. I think those horses were too tough for him. He gets a little bit of class relief, and the last time he was entered for a tag, he was only beaten a neck. He's an interesting long shot to consider, maybe on the bottom of single race exotics. The number 2 is Back to Normal, and Back to Normal has a lot of things going on for him. He's making his 2nd start off of a lengthy layoff. He's dropping into a claiming race for the first time in his career. He's racing on synthetic for the first time in his career. His sire does very, very well with synthetic sprinters. You can click on the name of the stallion in your free formulator past performances, Liam's Map, and you can get all sorts of sire percentages. Liam's Map, 19% with synthetic sprinters. Back to Normal's coming out of a very live race on dirt at Churchill Downs. Again, his first race off of a lengthy layoff. That race has already produced 4 next out winners. The 5th place finisher coming back to win a 2 Life allowance with a 92 Beyer speed figure. Back to Normal has speed, is dropping in class, and has enough synthetic pedigree. He goes out for Michael Maker and Louis Saez and should be forwardly placed as the Timeform US pace projector suggests. The number 3 is Cassation. Cassation is a New Jersey bred moving from turf to synthetic and route to sprint, but it's worth noting that this horse's 2 best races have come when going route to sprint on turf. The sire Peace and Justice clicks with 14% of synthetic sprinters, and last time out, while he was in against New Jersey breds, the winner of that race has won 8 times, and now Cassation is dropping into a strict non-winners of 2 Life race. The issue for Cassation could be this: if the pace is not fast, if it does favor horses on or near the early lead, this horse doesn't have a lot of early speed and might be at the mercy of the race flow. The number 4 is Blank's Hat Trick, and we're going to watch this one's most recent start. This race at Gulfstream going 5/8 over the Tapeta on September the 18th, and he simply just showed too much speed for this $16,000 maiden claiming group. Got loose early, kept right on going. Now again, this race was back in September. This horse was entered on December the 2nd, was listed as a vet scratch, and is now going to return off a 94-day layoff. It's nice to know the horse can handle the surface and distance. Obviously a horse that handles the track very well, but there are questions. While some of these other horses to his inside and others that we'll talk about in a bit are dropping in class, this horse is taking a little bit of a step up. The 5 is Gianni Lambo, going out for trainer Todd Pletcher. This horse is dropping into a claiming race for the first time and is moving from turf to synthetic. The sire American Pharaoh, 14% winners with synthetic sprinters. Coming out of a solid race at Belmont at Aqueduct last time out, sprinting on the turf. It was a first level allowance race. The 5th place finisher had won 3 times, and Gianni Lambo got caught up in a very hot pace duel that day with another horse that just tired badly. The winner of that race came back to run 3rd in a 2nd level allowance on dirt at Tampa Bay with an 81 Beyer speed figure. Gianni Lambo has figures, has connections, has tactical speed, and has class. This horse is also likely going to take a lot of money, and I'm just not sure where the strong edge is on paper. Do you want to take 8 to 5 on a horse trying a new surface for the first time, even for the great Pletcher barn? certainly a horse that can win this race, but I would demand a little bit of value. The 6 is Just Above. Just Above is going out for an underrated trainer, Lupe Preciado. Now, this horse is coming out of a starter optional race, and it's important. You can click on the date of the most recent start, and you can get the chart of the race. And you'll notice that that race was also, while it was a starter optional claimer, it was a race restricted to horses that had not won 2 races lifetime. So this is basically a lateral class move and not a drop in class for Just Above. That race was a slow-paced affair, won in gate-to-wire fashion, and Just Above just tried to rally from way out of it on the turf. The 5th place finisher from that race, as you can see in the chart by clicking on the horse, 3rd in his next start, and now under 2 life on the turf at Aqueduct with a 66 Beyers speed figure. This horse is going to be on the synthetic for the first time. The stallion does very good work on the surface. 20% winner's practical joke. This horse hasn't lived up to his pedigree. The second dam, I believe, was a multiple stakes winner, a millionaire. Just Above does go out for a solid trainer, did show speed 3 starts back, is facing some class droppers here. Never Satisfied is the number 7. Let's watch this horse's most recent start, going 5.5 over the Tapeta at Gulfstream Park. The runner-up in this beaten claiming race, a 3-year-old that had won 6 times. Never Satisfied came wide into the stretch, is going to run 3rd. Switches to Chantal Sutherland here. Another horse that doesn't have a lot of early speed, only won for 17 lifetime, lots of minor awards on display, and a horse perhaps with less upside than some of the others, might need a little bit more pace help. Inevitable Connection is up next, and Timeform US believes this horse can make the lead in a race favorable to pace runners. In for a $50,000 open claiming tag last time out at Belmont at Aqueduct. The winner of that race is now a 4-time winner, so he's dropping in class into a non-winners of 2 life, and to me the question really for this horse is the surface. The Sire Connect only connects at 8% with synthetic sprinters, but Inevitable Connection has speed, drops in class, earned a big fig 3 starts back off of a layoff, seems to run well fresh. Haymack, It's Jack, completes this field. It took this horse 11 tries to graduate, did so in nice style last time out on turf at Aqueduct. We'll watch this 3/4 of a mile race, and this was a race where they ran 1-2 all the way around the track. I sort of question the quality of competition that Haymack, It's Jack beat New York bred maiden specials. The Sire Lauban, very limited data with synthetic runners. 4 for 12, it's positive data, but it's limited. This horse does seem to have some speed, however, and breaking from the outside post, outside of the other speed, might be able to follow this horse into the flow under Jose Ortiz, and should be in the thick of things when they turn into the stretch. First time for a tag, but seems very well entered against winners for the first time. Before we get to my top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRF video franchises. This week is opening week at Santa Anita, or next week, next Monday. Let's take a look at my top picks for this race. I'm going to go with the 9, Haymack, It's Jack, hoping for a little bit of a price in here. This horse finally put it all together last time. I was drifting a little bit in the stretch after making the lead. Is going to have to prove perhaps that he can sit and finish, but he seems to be coming into this race in good form, and it looks like he is really well entered. I'm going to go 9, 4, 5, and 2 for the DRF race of the day, Wednesday, December the 21st. It is race 7 at Gulfstream. Good luck.